All right, boys. Okay, we are back. I know. It's Saturday. It's very late here in Mexico, and we're going to see finally the relationship between Blender and Substance Painter. Um, what we are gonna see here is how the relation between these two softwares are pretty close, depending on what you want to do. There are several game render engines and game engines that they work in a very different way. I'm gonna work on the roughness pipeline, and I think many people will work with this pipeline um, from today and on. So I'm gonna teach you and I'm gonna show you how I set up all the things for these two pieces in here. So I'm gonna export these two pieces that I have here inside of Blender. I did these pieces for a client a long time ago, and I don't have any commercial purpose on this. I have to be very clear. I don't have any commercial purpose on this. This is purely educational. So first of all, I have this sofa in here, and also I have this table in the. This is a dining set. So I delete the other, the rest of these chairs that this dining table had before. So I fixed some of the UVs in here because it was necessary. So first of all, what we need in this, first of all, is we're gonna delete all the materials that we have here in the scene for each piece, because we need to we need to work in a more clear way. First of all, we're gonna click these guys in here, and I'm gonna apply only one material to all of these guys. Why I am going to do that is because in pipeline, for many things, you need to understand that at more materials you have in the scene, more time you're gonna spend in the render time. So first of all, is because I don't have any dielectric material in here. I mean, with refractions, I don't have any refractions. I don't have opacity. I don't have any transmission in here. So it's gonna be like, okay, I have dielectrics, but I don't have transparency. I will not deal with transitions. So especially for the dining set in here, I will not use any kind of glass in here. Other than that, if I were using um, glass in this for the plate in the top for the table, I would change a little bit my pipeline. What would I do in that case? I would apply dielectric material 100% for just for the top, and the rest is gonna be another material. But in this case, because everything is gonna be wood and um, fabric and things like that, and there's gonna be some metal in there, like just the legs for the sofa. So I will not spend so much time on that, but I'm gonna teach you how to connect the materials, how to connect the maps, the PBR for the principal BFDS, and I'm gonna show you how I am going to texture this in a very fast and or very quick way. I will not do anything extremely fancy or anything very complicated. I'm just gonna show you this, how it works, how can we just manage, and how can we have a lot of control with these PBR materials when we bring them back here into Blender. And I'm gonna teach you also how to set them up with my pipeline. Commonly I use the Unreal pipeline in this. I merge the metallic, I merge the roughness and the ambient occlusion just in one image, because I put the AO in the red channel I put the green channel I put the roughness, and also for the metallic I use the blue channel. That's something you're gonna take advantage in that, because you will not have a lot of materials, a lot of images or files separate everywhere. So you're gonna gather those materials just in one file, and the diffuse is gonna have the transparency information, or the opacity is the same, and most of the time it's gonna take the RGB for the just for diffuse color 100% for that. And um for the normal maps it's gonna be in another map 100%. So we're gonna have three files in here, and I'm gonna teach you how to work with these guys. So first of all, I just delete the materials in there, and I'm gonna I'm gonna merge these two guys in here. I'm gonna merge these two guys, and this is gonna be my chair underscore geo, and the other one is gonna be table Deaning table underscore geo. And modern sofa, I'm just gonna leave it like that, but I'm gonna add the naming convention geo. And please, if you're working in a pipeline, please do not use empty spaces in the names. Try to put underscore or merge the words in there. So just put underscore in there, and also I'm gonna do it in Deaning table in here, because we need to have the names 100% in like a pure way, because sometimes they're gonna call libraries, instances, proxies, and things like that the rest of the pipeline in lining, look development, render, blah blah blah, etc. Like dressing sets. So I'm gonna apply some materials in there, and I'm gonna apply for the Deaning table this one, and I'm gonna apply Deaning set underscore M, and I'm gonna apply this material also for the chair. Deaning set, and I'm gonna kill the rest of the materials that we have here in the list. I'm gonna purge the unused data in here, because it's something that we don't need. So it's gonna delete all of these guys in here. So I'm gonna just delete those guys, so you will not be able to see the rest of those guys anymore. So in the modern sofa, I'm gonna just copy the name, and then I'm just gonna paste it in here. I'm gonna try just to merge a little bit more the names in here, underscore M. So we're gonna have two materials in there. So first of all, what you need to know in here is this. You need, in this case, because these two guys are gonna have the same material, so I'm gonna leave these two guys like this, but the sofa needs to be exactly in the center like this, but I'm gonna just put it exactly in here. I'm just gonna be sure that the legs are just touching a little bit the red line in there, just like that. And then I'm gonna apply the transformations for these guys just like that, only for the sofa, because the other guys are already done. So let's just take these two guys until Substance Painter. I'm gonna try to purge unused data again, just to check no orphan data in there, so there's nothing flying and floating in there. So I'm gonna take these two guys, I'm gonna export these two guys in OBJ, but because we're gonna export these two guys, we need to subdivide these guys in Substance Painter, because it's gonna be more easy. These are not assets or props for video games. These are gonna be for archives and things like that. So I'm gonna just apply a subdivision surface, and I'm gonna try to change the UV smooth to keep corners or keep corners in junctions. I'm gonna click until two levels, and I'm gonna click quality in 4 as much as we can, and then I'm gonna copy this information to the other guys. I'm gonna just um, let me please just click in here just in case. Screencast, yes, yes sir. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna click these two guys, and I'm gonna link the data. So I link and I copy the modifiers from the sofa to the table and the chair in there. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna export these two guys in OBJ. You can export Alembic, you can export USD, I think, FBX, whatever you want. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. So let me just export OBJ. OBJ behaves pretty good for me. I haven't had any trouble in the past with OBJ. So I'm gonna just export these guys. I have some presets in here, but I'm gonna apply just the modifiers in here, and I'm gonna take this guy into the Blender Lives folder because I'm gonna put it in there. It's gonna be props tuto in there. I'm gonna check again. I'm gonna explain this again. So I just export the props tuto in OBJ. So first of all is I just check I made my presets in here. So it's unchecking the apply modifiers. So I'm gonna check it. So I'm gonna export only the selection, only what I am selecting right now, and I'm exporting the UVs, the normals where they are facing right now, and I'm gonna apply the subdivisions at the end of the day, and they're gonna be exported as object groups. So materials are already exported individually. So this is a new addition that Blender Foundation just add very recently, that you can export in the OBJ the PBR extensions. I don't use it. I have to be 100% very honest on this. I don't use it because sometimes it comes with a lot of troubles, and some of the files, they're just coming with a lot of dirty issues in the data. So I'm gonna just replace this guy, and I'm just gonna export, and then I'm gonna open Substance Painter, and we're gonna continue working in there. So I'm using this version of Substance Painter because it's very stable for me. I have to be very honest. And for the main purpose that I do my stuff, this is 100% pretty good. And I bought this license a long time ago. So this is perpetual. So I don't have any issues for this. So it's just saying that the maintenance has been expired, not the license. So I'm just gonna skip this. I don't care about the messages. So what we're gonna do is, first of all, we're gonna click here in new, and here in new you have a lot of settings in here. So you have in here you have your main resolution that you're gonna start just working. You can just start working in 128, but this is a pretty big bunch of assets in here. So if you're gonna work this for something that is gonna appear pretty far from the camera, just no more than 512. But I'm gonna just start just working on 2K. This is non-destructive work. And also, first of all, you need to understand that if you're gonna work on Cycles, Arnold, V-Ray, and Redshift, and many other of those guys, they're gonna just start working on OpenGL. OpenGL is gonna be how the car is gonna interpret the normal maps in there, how the tension is gonna behave. So in this case, because I already know that we have something pretty special in here, I'm just going pretty fast back here in Blender. So as you can see here, I have some UDINs in here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 UDIMs in there. So I'm gonna just start just working in that. And I'm gonna click in here. It says UBTL settings UDIMs cannot be changed later. Doesn't matter, guys. That's something that you don't care at this point. So first of all, is you're gonna click use UBTL's workflow and preserve the UBTL's layout per material, blah blah blah. Don't convert the tails individual textures. That's gonna be really bad for you guys. And also don't use the automatic UV processor. That is gonna kill the UVs that you done before. So first of all is you're gonna just click like this, and then we will not use any template of this. We're gonna work 100% pure, and we're gonna export things from another template. So first of all is in here is file. We're gonna select the OBJ and the things that we're gonna start just working on, and we're going directly to the folder in here, and we're gonna click in here. As you can see, the size is really big. It's because we subdivide the things, and also we collect a lot of data in there. We collect the materials, we collect information about the UVs, and also all the subdivisions in there. So let's just click open. It's 57 megabytes. So let's open, and it's already charging here. So let's just open the complete scene in there. Let's just click OK, and let's just wait. Okay, we already have everything here in the scene. So as you can see, everything is 100% correct. Many people just gonna start complaining that, oh, how can we see the things and blah blah blah. For the people that they don't know how to use Substance Painter, this is not an introduction for Substance Painter. So this is I suppose that you know the basis or the basics for Substance Painter, but I'm just gonna explain something pretty fast. First of all, you don't have to be worried about that everything is just over the other objects. So don't worry about that, because we have the texture set list in here. So we have one set for the denim set, and we have another set for the modern sofa. So you can just click one of these guys and then just go to this eye, and it's gonna say focus on mode. So it's gonna isolate the unselected piece. So we can just start just working with these guys, just working with this section on, with this panel on. Just click this. I'm gonna start just with the table and the chair. So first of all, guys, in Substance Painter, never work with the layers. I mean, not with this kind of layer, not with this. These are mainly for direct painting. I never do direct painting in Substance Painter because you cannot correct that. So most of the time I use masks on this because I want non-destructive work. And what I do in this kind of cases, I just delete this guy and I just put a fill layer, because the fill layer is gonna give us a lot of freedom in Substance Painter. And also I'm gonna do for the modern sofa, I'm gonna just delete the paint layer, and I'm gonna add the fill layer. Please, in the name of everything that you have faith or you believe, please put names in here. I'm gonna put base. This is the base layer, and I'm gonna start just working with this guy from here. So first of all, we need to analyze what we have here. It's not just start just working like a crazy horse or a crazy donkey. It's first of all analyze what you have in the scene. So you're gonna apply what kind of materials, what kind of textures you're gonna apply here in this section. So in my case, I'm gonna just start working with wood in different tones, with some normal maps and some roughness. And also I'm gonna apply some fabric for the back of the chair and the seat of the chair. And the rest of the things of the structure of the chair, I'm gonna reuse the same wood material that I'm gonna do for the table. I'm gonna use it for the legs and the rest of the structure of this chair. So first of all, what I always do in these kind of cases is I just check what kind of PBR material I am using for this. I have to be sure that I am using PBR metal roughness in here. You can also use this one. You can use the PBR material roughness with alpha blending in there in case that you're gonna apply some alpha channel or stencils in there. In my case, I will not use anything like that. I will use 100% the made one, this one, the PBR metal roughness. This is more than enough. There are a bunch of these guys, for example, for the game of Dota 2, because they already have a preset for all their PBRs and things like that. But in my case, I'm gonna use this one because this one works with V-Ray, with Redshift, with Arnold, with Cycles, with Eevee, and many render engines that they don't use the glossiness process. So I have to be sure that I'm working with PBR metal roughness, and then I'm gonna change my XSR um, illumination like this. So I don't want to use the panorama. I want to use this one, the Blue Studio that I showed you before in previous tutorials, but I have a black and white version in here because I want to see the colors purely in black and white illumination in here. So first of all, I just set it up. I'm gonna just add a new fill layer and I'm gonna put C. I'm gonna synthesize the names, C for color, and I'm gonna change the properties in here because in Substance Painter I wanna manage, I wanna control, I wanna have so much control in this. So I'm gonna just turn off the rest of these channels in this layer. So this is gonna be C of color. I'm gonna Control C, Control D, and I'm gonna change this into metal, and I'm gonna put this M of metal because I don't want to deal with long names and a lot of so much mess in there. This is a little bit more logic. I'm gonna duplicate this guy and I'm gonna put R of roughness. I'm gonna uncheck metal and then put roughness. Then I'm gonna duplicate and I'm gonna add. Okay, I'm gonna explain you something in here. Many people is gonna disagree with this, but this happened to me in many other works. Sometimes happen. This is a bug that Substance Painter and Adobe, since they just absorb Algorithm, they haven't worked on this because it's like a small bug that they haven't fixed it yet. This is just what I'm gonna tell you is something that you need to take some precautions. Sometimes happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. So don't take it personal. That happens to me sometimes and also happened in the past. So I'm gonna take my precautions. So this one is gonna be hides and normal maps. So sometimes when I export, I don't know why, I I have done this in different machines in different places around the world, but sometimes when I export my high maps and I want to export them as a normal map, sometimes if I don't turn on the normal maps in here with the high maps, sometimes they do not export correctly. I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes, but this is just a precaution. Don't take it like personal. So what I'm gonna do in here is I'm gonna just start just working with a basic color for the wood. So I'm gonna just start adding some saturation in here like this, and I'm gonna just take this color in here. I'm gonna duplicate this guy. It's gonna be C copy, and then I'm gonna just use something a little bit more dark. I'm gonna put C darker, and then in this guy I'm gonna use a black mask in here, and I'm gonna add a fill layer. This way is adding a mask empty, fully black, and then I'm gonna fill it with color, with information, with the information that we have in here in the procedurals. So I'm just gonna filter all of these guys in here because I want to see all my checklists in here. I want to check everything like this, And we can go directly to Grunches, we can go to Grunches bitmap, noises, etc., blah blah blah. So first of all, we're gonna just check, for example, the directional noises in here. Sometimes it works with some of them, and sometimes you need to change some of this stuff in here. So in my case, for example, I'm just gonna use this guy in here, and I'm gonna just drop this information into the field that I apply for the mask, not in the mask, or not in here, because I want to leave this information 100% alone by itself. So I'm gonna just apply here this information, drop it into the grayscale, and we're gonna be able just to see something like this. As you can see in here, so the information is just working pretty well. I just UV like this because you can see some of the tables, they just work like this. In this case, for example, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna rotate, because it's working with the UV projection. I'm just gonna rotate 90 degrees because I want the information just gather into one point 100% in there. And there you go. So if you want to have something a little bit more how to say, more contrast in here, so just start working with the balance and contrast. If you want to add an extra control in here and you don't want to touch so much of these guys, just add, is right click and then add a level in here, and then just start modifying the information of the directional, the grayscale in there. So you can make some contrast in there in order just to make the wood in there. For example, you can have something like this. That's not a big deal. And as you can see, the wood is just working perfectly in every way in here. So what you can do in these kind of cases is, for example, you can just start working with the color blendings in here in order just to have a different effect or different application in here. For example, something a little bit more darker, and also you can isolate the effect to the rest of the things, but we're gonna do it later in a different way. So we can just, for example, we can see all the information that we have in here like this. Let's see. I think that UV doesn't have any information in it. Let me just check it first, because there's something that I think is missing in there. I think is missing. I don't know. Okay, let's just go back. Okay, yeah. This is it. This is why this information is just not working properly at some point. Let's just see. We need to check it. Okay, this is a problem. The problem is this. So let's just, we're gonna update the information. Don't worry, guys. This is something pretty fast. This happened to me many times. Is nobody's perfect when people is just doing these kind of things. So we're gonna gather this information exactly in here in the center with this. Don't worry, guys, it's something like this, and we're gonna deal like this. So let's just re-export things again, and we're gonna update the things in there. Let's just re-export this guy like this, and let's go back in here. So let's just check in here. We're gonna click dit, we're gonna click here, and we're gonna go into the project configuration, and we're gonna be sure that preserve strokes positions on mesh are on. We're gonna just reload this guy in here. Okay, and we're gonna have this information. So as you can see, the problem is already fixed. There you go. So this is the information that I wanted, because sometimes you can see those tables that they have different sections in there. So what we're gonna do in this is this. Okay, we're gonna just duplicate the information of this guy, and we're gonna delete this, and we're gonna apply add paint to the mask, because we're gonna change the colors for the UVs in here like this. I'm gonna show you what is the purpose of this. So first of all is I'm gonna change this into soft, and you can have this kind of effects, for example, for like a gamble table, one player in here, one another in here, and here and here. So you can change and do many things completely different. Let's just reduce here this one. We want to effect something subtle in here, and we're gonna reuse all of this information to do the roughness and the high maps in here. So I'm gonna use this information. So this information, I'm gonna just right click in here, and I'm gonna add an anchor point. So what does anchor point does? It absorbs the information that you have below in here, and it can take this information into any other material or layer that is above of it. So for example, in this case, let's just go back with M to the PBR material, and let's just go with the light just to see how the light just impacts in here. It's because the roughness, we haven't worked with this yet. So let's just right click in here, add a black mask, and then let's just add a fill layer. How the magic works. So as I told you before, we're gonna look for this name, for See Darker Mask. How are we gonna look at it? We need to click into the fill, into the grayscale. So we will not use a resource. The resource are from Substance Painter, but we're gonna look for an anchor point. You're gonna be able to see the See Darker Mask in there. So we're gonna be able just to take all of this information, and let's see how the information of this works. Let's see just how this information works like this. We can just start moving the slider and see how the blacks and whites are gonna affect this. So as you can see, the table is just start working in this. You can just 100% you can invert the effect, something like this, and you can just start just playing with this. It depends what you need, doesn't matter. Let's just, for example, do something like this, a little bit, something like this, and we're gonna reuse this information also for the high maps. Let's just add a black mask here in the high and normal maps. Let's just add a paint, a fill layer, and we're gonna reuse the information from the darker mask. So as you can see, guys, it's not working right now. It's because we also need to just move the slider in here. And as you can see in here, it's just start working in here like a rustic table in there. And we can just start just playing with the information. Let's just, for example, put something pretty low, something like this. You're gonna be able to see something in here. It's in there. If I turn it off, it's gonna be something like this. And also, it's a little bit pixelated. It's because we're using 2K. So let's just raise it to 4K, and we're gonna be able to see something more subtle like this. Yeah, there you go, guys. As you can see, and also it depends on the lining, on the look depth that you're gonna use in there. So here are all the changes in here. So also you can just play with those light changes in the legs and the rest of the things. For example, let's just go to the darker. Let's just add another one, another paint, and we're gonna just click, for example, one leg, for example, just one complete leg, and the opposite one. Let's just see how it looks. And this is looking pretty good, actually. Let's put also the center in completely dark color in there. So we have something like this, a little bit more interesting. And also let's just play with this. Let's just add for the chair for these two guys in there. Possibly. Yeah, just for this. For the other guys, I'm just gonna leave those guys just like that. And what is the next step for this? So first of all, you need to understand that you can apply a lot of information in here also with the baking process. Okay, the baking process is a little bit more for it's more for objects. For organic, we use it in pipeline. Yes, we do, but mainly is for objects because most of the time a lot of the props and assets in a scene, they will never move, or if they will move, we don't apply baking information because it's gonna produce a lot of um, physical shadows for approximation and other effects that possibly we don't want. But for characters, is not so common until you do things for just for normal maps. You do use it for curvature and ambient occlusion, but for film is not common. Is not for film is not common. Um, you can use it. Yeah, it's your own decision, but most of the time, for film, you just use the baking process for masking things and normal maps for applying detail or micro details. Okay, let's just continue, and I'm gonna grab all of these guys. I'm gonna just click Ctrl G, and then I'm gonna add here wood underscore M, and I'm gonna apply a black mask, and then I'm gonna apply a paint in there, and I'm gonna add this information just to the pieces that I want, just to these pieces, and that's it. For example, just for the wood sections, that's it, because I want to use fabric for the other guy. For example, I like the color of white, but also you can use like creamy yellow. For example, um, let's just click these guys. For example, something like this. I'm just gonna copy these guys, and I'm just gonna put it above. And I'm gonna delete all the information that we have in here because we're gonna use things just for the fabric. I'm gonna use like a creamy one, yellow creamy, pretty almost white, something like this. And also, um, I'm gonna apply first before everything. I'm gonna change the heights in here. I'm gonna apply the heights first because I wanna see the kneading, the fabric texture in there. So I'm gonna just change the light just in order to see how the fabric is gonna behave in there. And I'm gonna reuse the patterns that we have in here, or the gradients in here. Let's just see which one is better for our purposes. Noise advance, fabric. So we have a lot of kneading here. So the wavy is actually is pretty good. The mesh one is also pretty good. I really would like to try the wavy one. This one is gonna be really good. I'm gonna apply this guy in here, and I'm gonna change the values in here until something a little bit more high, something like this. And I'm gonna check the properties of this texture in here. This is using the UV's projection. I'm gonna use the triplanar because I want to repeat the texture multiple times, like 8 times, something like this. Don't worry about the it looks like you know, those creamy cookies in there, but don't worry about that. It's I'm gonna just correct that stuff later. So let's just repeat this like 16, and I'm gonna change a little bit the rotation, like 45 degrees, and I'm gonna change the values in here like 0.1, something like this. And I need to repeat more this because it looks really big, this information. Also, you can check the tailing in here. You can just increase like 4 times. I love this. This is much better. And the triplanar is just blending in here. It's really good. And what we're gonna do with this is I'm gonna add a value with a fill, and you can change this value like pretty shiny and something like this, a little bit not so shiny. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I told you before, I don't want to do anything fancy. I'm just gonna put like fabric, and I'm gonna add a black mask, and then I'm gonna apply a paint, and then I'm just gonna apply just in here and also in here. So let's just check how it looks. So actually it looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints, no regrets. This is alright, actually. Let's just change a little bit the reflections in here are too much. Let's just change these guys in here. So let's just go for this guy. Let's just change 0.74. It's alright, much better. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's just make the baking process just something pretty fast. I'm gonna change my size to 2K just to work a little bit faster. Let's just start baking this guy, and I'm gonna ignore some of the things in there. So let's just go directly in here. Let's just go sections. I'm gonna bake separate the modern sofa, or no, it's alright. No, yeah, I'm gonna isolate it. That's right. And I'm gonna uncheck the ID, normals, and world space normals because I don't have any high res in there. So I'm just gonna how to say, I'm just gonna work with the ambient occlusion and the curvature map. I'm just gonna increase a little bit the samples. I'm gonna apply it to all. Curvature 64, apply to all. Only the same name in the mesh. I don't want the sofa effects, the Dean set in here. Same name, apply, and apply. Let's just bake this guy. I forgot something. I need to change the resolution in there because it was 512. So let's just rebake this guy, and I'm gonna just rebake it in 2K. 2K is more than enough in this case because we're working in UDIMs. It's alright, and let's just see how it works. It's working pretty good because as you can see in here, guys, is the shadows are just working in here because it's the approximation between the object that is in front and the wood sticks that are in the back. So it's gonna produce that effect that it looks the object looks like it's in there. So this is 100% alright. I'm happy with this, and yeah, Let's just save this guy in here because I don't want to cry. Yeah, yeah, it happens to me many times. I'm just gonna add like uh, props tuto. Yeah, that's it. And let's just go for a modern sofa. This is gonna be something. Um, I'm gonna reuse some of the information from the dining set. The fabric, I'm gonna just reuse this material. Control C, and then Control B, and I'm gonna just check all the things that I do in here. So let's just apply the information, for example, for this guy, this guy, this guy, these guys in here. So you're gonna be able to see the effect on this guy at some point. So let's just click. This is the advantage to working in Substance Painter because you can reuse many things in there. So let's just go pretty close in here. So you can see it looks like a leather fabric mutant sofa in there. So let's just add and change the resolution for this guy because this is 2K. Let's just see in 4K how it behaves. It behaves pretty good actually. Looks pretty nice. And also let's just do the baking process for this guy. Let's just make it. Let's just uncheck this guy and check this guy. Yep. And there you go. Let's see how it behaves. How the shadows behave in there. So as you can see, there's 4 tails in there for this guy. So as you can see, the shadows are working properly in there. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, 100%. Nothing fancy. Let's just change some of the colors in here just to, in order just to see something more different. Let's just change also the roughness in here. Let's just put it 0.81. We don't want anything shiny or 100% shiny. Let's just add some different colors in order just to have something more proper. Like let's just add an overlay, and I'm gonna add a black mask in there because I wanna have some of the pillows in there in different tones. Let's just add, for example, one in here, one in here, one in here. Yeah, there you go. There you go, guys. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like this because I will have a beer in there or tequila watching a movie. Let's just start just working for the metals in here for the legs. And yeah, I think I already have one material. Let me see, because I have my own PBRs in here. Rustic iron. No, let me just redo my own metals in here. It's gonna be really easy. I'm just gonna put it in the top in here, and it's gonna be exactly the same process. It's color. It's gonna be metal. Let's just increase the metal until here. It's gonna be the roughness, and this is gonna be normal and heights, but I just put it because it's something that is basic rule for me. I'm just gonna put R metal and C color. I'm just gonna change the metal something a little bit 0.100 500. It's alright. Let's just change this guy in here something a little bit more chromy, something like this. Yeah, oh yeah, so much metal in here, guys. Rock and roll. Yes. So let's just encapsulate this guy in here like base chrome. just add black mask, paint, and let's just change these guys in here. Let's add is metal, metal, this guy, and yeah. All right, guys. Basically, basically because I don't want to do anything else. I could do like some wear and tear stuff in here, but I don't want it. It's just the basics, just to show you, um, to introduce you to intermediate with PBRs and things like that. So let's just export these guys both directly to Blender. I mean the materials. Let's just, I'm gonna explain the next steps in here that I did in my personal case. First of all, as I mentioned before, I have my own settings for exporting this. I usually work with the Unreal pipeline, but I did my own settings by myself because I don't want to ruin what we have by default inside of the software. So what I did is this. I went to the output templates and then I just create output compact. I just name it like that because I want it. What I did is this. I collect all the information for base color and alpha information, I mean opacity, just in the base color with RGB in the color and alpha separate with a PNG. I can change it into 16 bits. That's not a big deal. And this tutorial is for introducing people how the relationship between Substance Painter and Blender, man. It's not just doing in Blender. It's just for people who wants to get into both softwares. This is for beginners, 100%. This is not. I've been working on this industry since 18 years. So I work at EA a long time ago, at FIFA, and also Plants vs Zombie Battle for Neighborville. And also I work at Disney in Vancouver. I work in Germany, in Munich. I work in Japan and Shinjuku, and also in Tokyo. I work in San Francisco, and also I work in here in Mexico. I was a 3D instructor at Tech of Monterrey for the BFX and animation career. So this is for the people to know the relationship between softwares, how to understand the connections and things like that. Because many people is I just want to handle it just in Maya or things like that. But this is pretty important for the people who wants to get into this industry at some point. And now that the AI is just introducing into Substance Painter also, and also Blender also is collecting AI stable diffusion. This is gonna be part of those pipelines in future because you need to know the basics. Basics are pretty important just to understand why, when, and how to do things in order just to improve your performance. It's not only just doing a prompt and just type it like that. You need to have performance, you need to optimize the scenes, you need to blend it everything into the game engines or the render engines and things like that. And also you need to have a pretty good plan between you and the client. So what I create in here is my own process for like the Unreal Engine. It's pretty similar. As you can see here, you have all the information in here like in different collections like occlusion, roughness, blah blah blah, but I did my own one with a lot of information in here. I create the base color in here with the alpha, and also I collect the ambient occlusion, roughness, metal in RGB, and also the normal maps in RGB. But also you can create custom AOVs for masking. I can create and collect in RGB information, painting red, green, and blue. And I can have three masks in here, 6, 9, 12, just in 1, 2, 3, and 4 files, against to have 12 files completely separate. That's something that is gonna, you're gonna pull your hair. And also I have emissive separate, because emissives are completely different. It's an information that it gets mad when you got inside of Maya or Blender. Also the heights, these are gonna be more grayscale for height information or displacement maps. And also I separate 100% the subsurface scattering in RGB in here. So in my case, I did this and I have my preset in here. So if you go back in here, I just use the compact, the output compact in here. So you're gonna be able to see in here everything, because I didn't do any. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my man. Yeah, many people doesn't know because people is not in the industry, but I have a lot of friends in Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is just changing their pipeline from 3 Studio Max into Blender. But also there's a studio in Paris. I have a friend in there, a Spanish friend that is working in Parallel Games Studios, and they're using 100% Blender in there. I have seen a lot of requests since 2 years ago from many companies that they want, if you don't know how to use Houdini, but if you know how to use Blender for geometry nodes, they're putting both options right now. So many people is using Blender because it's not about to say industry standard, it's how you do the things. I mean, I'm a guy who started learning this with commercial softwares a long time ago. When I was 14 years old, I touched for my first time Maya 1.0. So it was too crazy for me because I was 14 years old, a guy who doesn't know anything about life. But I fell in love, and I I tried with Maya, 3 Studio Max, and Lightwave, XSI, Modo, and many other things. But at the end of the day, modeling is modeling, UVs are UVs, texturing is texturing, surfacing is surfacing. So I think these are tools. I always say to people that is fanboys, don't fight with the tools. The tools are here to help you. If you if you can merge your pipeline between Maya and Blender or Max and Blender, you're gonna have a huge, big boom in there. You're gonna have more options. So another thing that this is a pretty good thing that I'm gonna share with you guys. When I was working in Vancouver a long time ago, I was working in a production where they were using a lot of Autodesk software in there. So as you know, all the licenses they gather in a cloud. So something happened when I was working in there, and there was a power outage, and all the energy was 100% gone, and we were working with the provisional batteries in there. So all the licenses about Maya, Max, and Nuke and things like that, they were 100% gone. The only software that was working in the moment was Blender 100%, because you do not depend on a license. So at the end of the day, a lot of the departments of modeling in different shows, they uh, in every show they were like, I don't know, 25 people in each show, but 10 people were working with Blender and Maya at the same time, and the rest of the guys, they were only using Maya or Max. So the guys who were working with Blender and Maya at the same time, we finished everything for the shows. The other guys, they had to do extra time, overtime, almost for 2 months. So it's not about which one is the best. There's no best software. I think the software doesn't make the artist. The artists make the tool. That's something that I learned when I was working in Blur Studios a long time ago. So let's just continue because I didn't use any mask in here. I didn't do any RGB masks in here. So I don't need, for example, the mask or the normal B, the normal map B option or emissive or things like that. I only need normal maps extraction, um, roughness, metallic, and base color for these guys. So I'm gonna uncheck these guys in here because I don't need them, and I'm going to go directly to save this guy in here. I'm gonna just create a new folder, and I'm just gonna put props maps PBR. And I'm gonna just save those guys inside of here. Select folder, and then I'm gonna save these settings. Don't get scared because this window is gonna disappear. This is something that it still happens in the new versions of Substance Painter, but it's completely normal. Just go back to export textures and everything is gonna be saved in here. So as you can see, everything is 100% correct. Let's just export these guys. It's gonna take, I don't know, 2 seconds or possibly 10 seconds. This is already finished. I export everything in 2K and also in 4K. I have seen that the thinning set is in 2K. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change the mandatory size 100% to 4K, and I'm gonna just export this guy 100%. And I'm going back to Blender just to show you how the results are gonna be in here. Oh yeah. So let's see. Let's just go back to Blender, and we're gonna have something like this. And yeah, let's just move these guys in here. I'm gonna move the chair and the table to this side. And I wanted to show you in Blender 4.3 beta, but the problem is that it has some issues in there. This is gonna be in Blender 4.2. So first of all, I'm going to change some stuff in here. I'm gonna change, this is cycles, because I wanna see how it works in the moment. I'm gonna change it into Eevee, and I'm gonna change some settings in here. I'm gonna, the clamping, I don't wanna kill my black and white colors. I'm gonna put a value of 2 for direct and indirect light, and I'm gonna apply the ray tracing, resolution 1 to 1, 100% max roughness, and also precision 100%. And for these guys, for the fast GI, I'm gonna change it to maximum resolution. I want 6 times bouncing the light in the scene with 100% precision. And the performance, I want high quality for the normal mouse in here. So, and also, since we're gonna just start just working with something not 100% precise but 90% precise, I want to change my color lot, my color management. I don't want to work with Filmic. I want to work with AGX because it's going to be a little bit more precise for colors, and medium high contrast. It's going to show you something a little bit different with the colors, but it's because it's something that it looks nice for me. So most of the time I change the colors inside in here. So what is next? We're gonna just start working with these guys. I'm gonna kill the grid in there because I don't like the grid floor, and also these guys because I have this guy. I don't need many lines in there. So I'm going to this guy, and I'm going to Eevee, material preview, and then I don't want to work with these kind of HDR. I have my own. I'm gonna change this guy, and I'm gonna just start rotating this guy something a little bit, something like this, to give more contrast. So we have this material in here. So as I told you before, and we saw in the previous tutorials before, we have inputs and we have outputs. So let's just click in here, and we're gonna click texture, and we're gonna click multiple images. Let's just go for that guy in here, and we're gonna check all the textures in there. So I'm gonna change, I don't want to see the preview, I want to see the names, because this is the thinning. So I'm gonna click this guy in here, just one, this guy in here, and I want to check this guy in here, because they're UDIM process, so they're gonna be recognized as a UDIM inside of Blender. So it's gonna bring the whole stuff just one in a row. So we have this. We want to see what is inside of each of these guys. So let's just select these three guys and then press H. So we're gonna be able to see what is inside. And let's just change the base color in here. In single image, we need to change this. We need to change single to UDIM tails in H1. I want to create with ChatGPT a script just to, when I bring these guys, they auto-connected. There's some plugins in there, but most of the time I prefer to do it manually because I want to be sure 100% what I brought inside of my scene. Let's just change this guy. And first of all, if you're working with color, it needs to be sRGB. If you're working with normal maps, it needs to be linear rec 7009 or non-color. I will go for non-color. Also for the ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic, they need to be non-color. Why? Because we're gonna use part of the information of the RGB converted into grayscales. So let's just connect the color in here into the base color, and let's see how it behaves. So as you can see in here, it's just working properly right now. It's working really nice. So we don't have all the information in here, for example, for the roughness and speculars and things like that, is because we need to change some stuff. I'm gonna change here the render stuff into here. I'm gonna change it in here because I want to see everything in here. Yes, I want to see it in here. So I want to see it in big. So what we're gonna do with this guy in here is this. First of all, we need to have order in here. Let's just put some order in here. And how are we gonna extract ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic completely separate? That's pretty easy. It's very easy. We have a lot of nodes in here in Blender. Thanks God. God bless Blender and Tom Rosendahl. So we have here a converter. So we can separate the colors, the RGB, in individual sockets in here. So let's just connect the color in here, and then we can preview what every channel makes in here. For example, this one, as you can see, is the ambient occlusion. It is working properly. The green one is the roughness, and the blue is the metallic, as you can see here in the scene. So this is pretty good because from here, what I can do is this. I can connect my green channel into the roughness and see what we have before in Substance Painter. So the blue channel is going to be for the metallic. So it's going to regulate all the blacks and whites with the colors and roughness. And you can mix the ambient occlusion with the color in here. How are we going to do that? We're going to click in here, uncheck the click, and then mix. Then we're going to change into multiply because we're going to delete all 100% all the information of the white colors, and we're gonna leave the black colors, all the shadows in there. So let's just add the red channel in here and then connect this guy into the base color. Let's just connect it. And here you are, guys. As you can see here, we have the shadows that I told you before. So this is gonna give the sensation that the plate in the top is touching the legs. This is more for environments, as I told you before. And also we can check it in here, as you can see in here, in the back. You can see in this section, it gives the sensation that the things are in there. So this is pretty good actually at this moment in Eevee. It looks actually really good. So we can change many things in here with the colors. So we have some information, for example, the color, this guy, we have this, and let's just bring the normals. Let's just bring in vector. How to connect is normal, color to color, and then normal into normal. So let's just go pretty near in here, and you're gonna be able to see. If you want to increase the values for the normals, you can increase it in here. It's actually it's really easy. Just increase it in here. In other softwares, this is something that it works, yes, but sometimes it's a very jaggy lines and things like that. But in here, it works pretty nice actually. Let's just go directly to the chair and let's just see how it works with in here. It's working pretty good actually. You can see in here. And also, if you don't want to see so many reflections in there, we can change this in here. In general, guys, this is a process to connect things, the PBR materials inside of Blender with the principal BFDS. So this is my way. Is not the ultimate way. So you can see many other different options on internet, but this is something pretty important for you guys because this is gonna give you more freedom. You can have independent control with many things. So we have the information with you have the maps in here. Let's just put them into a frame in there. Let's just put the controls in here, and we have a mixer in here. So if you want to control, for example, the roughness in there, let's just add 100% color ramp in there, and then you can just start just changing your color ramp in there like this. If you don't want anything shiny, or if you want something more shiny like this, you can change it. For example, something like this. It depends what you want or what you need. It's not about what I want. Also the colors, for example, the colors, if you want it, you can just, for example, just change it in here. For example, the colors in here, I don't know, very funky colors in there, like crazy colors, something like this. Also, you can bring the mask. What I told you before, you can make RGB masks in Substance Painter, and then just plug it with this guy, and then just convert these guys into stencil, a white stencil, and then change colors depending on what the client wants. So this is the magic where you need to be concerned that you have 100% control. This is what I want in 3D. I want control. I don't want a machine do things for me. I want to have control because the client is gonna come next day and they're gonna tell you, I need more design. Yeah, tell that to the AI generate images. So the client doesn't care about if you're working with manual things or automatic things or AI. They want their product and they want it right. So mix your techniques, don't fight with fanboys, and yeah, and that's it. I mix my knowledge between AI, Comfy UI, and this just to enchant it, my designs and things like that. So this is for the chair and the dining set. Let's just do exactly the same process for this guy. Let's just bring the multiple images in here. This is for the sofa. Let's just bring the sofa guy. And I'm gonna do it a little bit more fast because I don't wanna make you wait so much. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna bring the normal maps. I'm gonna bring the converter, the separate colors. I'm gonna plug this guy in here. I'm gonna change it into UDIM, non-color, and that's it. I'm just gonna plug this guy. I'm gonna plug this guy, plug this guy. I'm gonna plug this. Let's just wait a little bit because the normal maps are a little bit heavy at some point, as you can see. And let's just bring the ambient occlusion and mix it with this guy in here because we need it. So let's just bring this guy in here. And yeah, let's just mix. I'm just gonna connect the red one, change it into multiply, and then this guy. And there you go. You can change the color of the ambient occlusion. That's not a big deal. You can do it. It depends on you. You can just plug in here, for example, a color ramp into the red channel, and then just change this guy in here. Or no, into the black guy. Yeah, the black guy needs to be replaced, so are the shadows. So you can just change this color into, for example, something a little bit like this. And it's gonna look a little bit more according to the design in here. So you can just bring a little bit more the information, something like this, with, I don't know, shadows or dirt. It depends on you guys. So, and yeah, always order. So we have these guys in here. So these two guys are gonna be in here, and these two guys needs to be in here. Let's just something like this. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, these are the final results for the PBR and the understanding for how the PBR are related with Blender and how you connect those guys. Let's just make a quick render with cycles. Let's just add a plane in there with some information in there. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. And let's just yeah, not these guys, not these guys. Let's just change this guy. Okay, let's just change into the viewport in here, and I'm gonna change this guy in here with my outliner. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my HDR environment open. I have a mess in there. Yeah, and yeah, let's just change this guy into cycles. I'm gonna use the GPU 0.74, 128, 32. I'm gonna change these guys into 8 bounces. I want the light bounce 8 times. I don't want to kill my black and white colors, and my ambient occlusion in the scene by 1 meter. 64 samples in the scene just for the ambient occlusion. Performance 256. I'm gonna do a tutorial for this later, guys. I think at the end of the year about the render settings and things like that, because this is a little bit more advanced just to understand. Let's just add a camera in here. It's gonna be full HD. Let's just see how it looks in here. I know the plane is like this, but it's alright. Let's just render this guy, and let's just click F12. Alright, guys. This is gonna be the last couple of minutes in here, so I hope you like and you enjoyed this live in here, guys. This is 100% between beginners C plus and intermediate. It's just to make you understand how the things works between PBR, maps, and the relationship between Substance Painter and Blender for these kind of things. So we can make a lot of close-ups in here and things like that. You can just watch it like this. That's not a big deal. Let's just, for example, make something against the light. For example, something like this, we can change the light, blah blah blah. But this is how the things work here in Blender with the PBR. And I hope, guys, you like all this information in here. So first of all, try to practice every day about the PBR texturing and things like that. And also, as you can see here, I'm using an HDR for lighting. That's not correct in film. In film, you're just gonna use it for supporting the lighting process. You're gonna use lights 100% because the lights are gonna give you control on this. The HDR is gonna give you environment light. It's not gonna be the principal one. So as you can see, the results in here are a little bit more not 100% messy, but I would say not 100% as you would like at some point. Is because you need to understand that if you are inside of an environment, an interior, the light is going to react completely different in the PBR because it is based on physical based render on physics. So that's it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So you can see here the details, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you next, guys. And I'm so sorry if I was a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit tough and I just went to another different path when we were talking, but this is part of the lives, guys. Is you can ask me and I can answer the things that I know. Things that I don't know, I will be 100% honest. I will tell you I don't know because I am not God. But yeah, and thank you very much, man, and have a pretty good night. Here in Mexico is 4:42 a.m. in the night. I'm gonna put a movie and I'm gonna just take a rest and have a good weekend. Peace and love, guys, and rock and roll.